as we see the montage of different Cold War disasters happening in a montage. President Reagan gives a little small speech in the opening game of the Black Ops Cold War storyline, and there's an opening to this with 2 suspects. Well, this intro cutscene looks really familiar. Meet up with Woods in the alley. We eventually, Adler and Woods, we make a surprise visit to this house. And we also can't forget the best thing that happened in Call of Duty is these crazy insane assassin takedowns, which is fucking awesome. As we clear all this roof and we make this slow motion off the roof, even more badass. Ooh, I bet that hurt. As Adler punches Kassem in the face, and we get a hold of him, and we try to get some answers.
Understand the situation.
Ask him who's Arash meeting with, and you'll get a little side quest mission. We got a choice to throw him over or keep him, so we keep him. And let's see how far he survives for now. 18 hours later, we arrive at Turkey. As we approach this hill with grass and trees, and we see this plane. Bunch of enemies over here, and we have a vehicle that arrived with Arash inside. He comes out of the vehicle, and he seems like he shuts the door and pretends like he's talking to him, and he ends up doing this. As little as you know, we pull our sniper out and try to snipe them. And they add this little slow-mo that's really cool and makes it really action-packed. And we take an RC car, we explode the plane. As Adler helps us up from the crash, we have a little surprise for Arash, and this is not gonna go well.
Just will watch the what.
And well, oh well, guess who shows up? President Sagan sits Adler, Hudson, Woods, and Mason as a task to take an end to all of this.
The entire free world will benefit. I know you won't fail us.
Now it's time to fill out our Central Intelligence Agency. It's going to show us our real identity. The good old ItsBuzzer for the first and last name. I think that's a pretty good name to pick here. The dialogue will change based on what military background you choose. We arrive at the wonderful safe house where everything is organized by the team and how we go on to the missions. I was really surprised how well they did the evidence board because it's filled up with missions and even side quest. And the side quest has the name called Operation. And you can examine these evidence items that you find, and you can take pictures, which is actually pretty awesome. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. Fractured jaw. This should be fun. What is he doing with that damn magazine? God damn it.
That shit's gonna make you go blind.
Yup. That's why I want it all up here.
Going on a little helicopter ride here and enjoy the sunset and the water and the beautiful horizon. This looks amazing. Well, this looks familiar. Now we're going to take our helicopter and we're going to spray everything down with our minigun and take everything and just kill everything and knock everything down to the ground. This is actually the map Firebase Z Zombies map, which is pretty crazy. So this is off the campaign mission.
Open the door.
As we retreat back to safety and land our helicopter, we break into hell. We've crashed our helicopter, now we're upside down. Now we're stuck using a minigun.
Let loose with that gun.
As we need to call in air support, now we're stuck on the island. Now we have an LMG.
Keep them the fuck off us.
Now we're stranded on the island with a big bomb next to us, trying to protect it. And we have an LMG spraying all the enemies down while we're getting pushed. And we need to call in air support really bad.
think we can call this a success, Sims?
At least the nuke didn't go off.
Okay, Park, chill out. Just turn around. Like, this is really... Just don't make this difficult as it is. Just turn back around. As we break from a train, we get stealthy. Cold War just takes it to the next level, especially with hiding bodies and taking down enemies. As we go on the rooftops of Berlin and looking down from the streets from our camera, trying to get screenshots of evidence and proof. This exact location is from Zombies, which is Mauer der Toten. We've been pulling out a pack of cigarettes for a listening device. Like, the tech in this game is pretty advanced. Escape from a bathroom, even having options for dialogue to rescue or shoot civilians. One of the most iconic moments in Black Ops Cold War.
Not a fucking word, Bill.
And we get captured by Volkov. We get captured, but we get saved by Park. Volkov tries to escape, and we take him down.
MI6 could have gotten so much more out of him.
Can't win them all.
And all this time, behind all this mess, Hudson knows information, everything about the green light.
The stolen nuke is American, and Hudson fucking knew.
As Cold War can't get any cooler as it is, we jump into an NPC that has a turn on top, and we spray and pray. Woods and Adler show up to meet up with Hudson, and it doesn't go well, since Woods finds out that Hudson was part of the Operation Greenlight. While going on a zipline, it breaks off and we fall to almost to our death, leading us to only a knife to survive. Now it's time to go silent mode, take our knife out, and assassinate everybody in our way, no matter how cold and freezing it is. And we find a little cool magnum in a locker. This magnum actually can one-hit enemies. You also get a badass crossbow that one-hits people too. And of course, I kept running into bugs that are really annoying. So what's a Call of Duty without any bugs? If you find enough evidence throughout your missions, you can actually crack some codes and play some secret operation missions, which isn't very long at all. Desperate Measures. This mission is really based on stealth and going through doors and picking locks and unlocking secret items. And also we can unlock this cabinet, which gives us the Nova 6 poison. So we head to the basement, we unlock this door, and we get Adler. We hide and we take these guards down, and we steal their outfit. Now we're in disguise. And we had a little special guest in the elevator, and we had a little fun with it. We keep pushing forward, and this door gets blown open, so we have to protect the computer that we're downloading files on, and we need to survive in this area with a ton of enemies, and I'm spraying with my AK-47 and my LMG that takes 20 years to reload. We grab some PUBG armor and we just go ham. This mission reminded me of No Russian off of Modern Warfare 2. This is a pretty savage moment.
Go, Bill.
It's about time. Been waiting for your call.
They caused a hell of a mess in Moscow. Was it worth it?
Adler managed to get the list of sleeper agent names, despite himself. He's got balls, I'll give him that.
Bell did well.
Seemingly. But I think that team is getting too comfortable. They're acting like they know who they're dealing with.
Perhaps.
Turns out, one of those sleeper agents is tied to Operation Greenlight. Theodore Hastings. He's a nuclear engineer based out of Salt Lake City.
And you believe Hastings is the one he'll activate?
Exactly. Total surveillance is already underway. It's only a matter of time before he leads us straight to Perseus.
So once we switch security cameras here, Perseus walks in and shoots all the scientists. So basically, after Perseus kills all the scientists, like you see there on the map there, Perseus has access to all the nukes in the world, and it's crazy how much control he has. This is the aftermath of what happened, and as you've seen in the security cameras. So we go back up to the roof and we're fighting all these enemies, and we go to the Eastern 130 and just blow everybody up. We get to this one interesting part. At this point, the game gives you choices here. You say Lazar or you say Park. And I went for Park because that's what I chose every time, and she's the one that helps the team the most, and I just went for her. So this is when it starts to get interesting. So after we say Park, Adler gets really pissed off, and we go into this stage where he injection us. He takes us back to Vietnam because he wants to know where Percy is. And this is the part where he tells us what we're going to do. You can choose to follow the path he says,
Even
or you can
field
obey him
upgrades
and
that
it's going to make
double
him
your
more
damage,
aggravated
and
and
it
put
goes all
more
the way up to
injection
tier
into
5.
you. This final mission determines what path you want to follow. You want to listen to Adler or you don't want to. You get to these one parts where you're traveling through this hallway with these red doors and these doors randomly coming open and people shooting out of them, and then this hallway starts to shrink. At this moment in the game, I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, why is it shrinking like this? And it just looks weird from your perspective and how the screen is like showing this in the gameplay. It's absolutely crazy, and this might be the most craziest moments in Call of Duty history, how they're showing this. So at this moment, Adler's trying to get Bell to really tell where Perseus is after he was detonated the bombs. Bell was one of the 2 Soviet soldiers that Arash shot in the car. Adler shows up after finding you alive after Arash shot you, and he found you alive in the car. He actually implants memories with Adler. He wanted you to trust him. This right here leads up to the final moment of this campaign story. This moment right here really impacts the ending of the story. Whatever you pick is to tell the truth or a lie, and both will impact how your ending goes. You go to the location where Perseus said he would be, and you have to stop Operation Greenlight from detonation.
Gotta go now.
We get a final cutscene here, which is Adler and Bell talking. Who shot first?
That doesn't it? Bell, you made 2 extraordinary sacrifices to stop Perseus. One was without your knowledge. The other, you made that decision of your own accord. I just want you to know that this little thing that's happened with you and me, it was always for the greater good. You're a goddamn hero, you know that, kid? Heroes have to make sacrifices. That's why when I ask you for one more, I hope you understand. It was never personal.
And also the end credit plays right after this cliffhanger. And also got the achievement for beating this campaign on veteran. Really wasn't really that difficult. In some spots and some mission was, but I managed to get through it. This one's worth 100 gamer score. And we're not done yet. Let's look at the bad ending. This is the part where we can lie to Adler. You can tell Perseus that we're bringing Russia's Adler's team to Duga. Now, we arrive with Adler and we send a signal to ambush.
Ready for a little retribution?
No, you're making a mistake!
Hell, you shoot the fuck! Go! Push! Oh!
Glad to see you still care. Mind giving me a light? I'd offer.
I wish we could return to Solovetsky to watch it all unfold, but that chapter is closed now. We begin the next one together. You did well. And to think, after all this time, they still believe I'm Perseus. As if Perseus could ever be an individual working alone. So American. We'll need a new home now. The Central Committee will be more surprised than the CIA. Even if we made the best choice for the future of our homeland. Yet, for humanity, their eyes will be as clouded as ours once were. Come. There is still much to be done.
My God. How many green light nukes did he detonate?
All of them, Mr. President.
Does anyone know the bombs were ours?
Materials related to Operation Greenlight were anonymously released an hour ago, presumably by Perseus. Calls are beginning to come in from across the globe.
That son of a bitch.
You and Vice President Bush are to be moved to secure locations immediately.
I want any business related to this thing erased forever. Everything. Can you make that happen?
Of course. It's already begun.
We will watch Europe burn. We will watch the empire of the United States collapse under its own weight. A world with two superpowers will become a world with one. The Soviet Union. And if the leaders of this new world order squander the opportunity we have provided them, then they too will be replaced.
If I'm going to be completely honest here, I am not excited about multiplayer because multiplayer is one of my most weaknesses in Call of Duty anymore, because I used to love playing Call of Duty multiplayer until it got heavy based on skill-based matchmaking, microtransactions, and the store blown up with bundles, and it just... The battle pass doesn't really bother me, but why charge $10 for a battle pass that the person's already paying $60 for the game for? And it's just like, really? So the background gameplay, I dropped like 40 kills in this, and I went off in this game, so I wanted a good footage on this so I can review multiplayer. So the created class in this game was pretty basic. You just have 8 attachments with camos you can grind for. Maybe you want to have a class with more perks, or have a class where you can unlock extra attachments for your weapon. And one class can have a multiple perk from one perk category, and have extra lethal and tactical thrown equipment to start with additional ammo. You're very limited how to play in this game. My only problem with this game is, well, not my only problem, but one of my problems are, and I want to get a helicopter or war machine, I can still get it. As long as I get that many points in that match and I die, it doesn't matter. I can still get these kill streaks and get a HARP, which is a advanced UAV. So I can, if I die, I can still get it. Which the score streaks were a little weird in this game. And man, oh man, was the skill-based matchmaking really tough in this game. It was really, really tough, because if you had like one good match, your next matches will be sweaty as hell, like you're playing League Play at a festival. It is horrible.
What is going on, dude?
Holy fuck! This game!
You know, skill-based matchmaking has always been a thing in Call of Duty, but at the point in this game, it was on a high level, and it was so much stress and anxiety in this freaking game. It was unbelievable. This game had high skill-based matchmaking in the beta. It's usually every Call of Duty every year. It's just the same, you know, the same reactions from people. It's just like, I cannot wait for this game to come out. Then it comes out, then we all play it, then we all get slammed by skill-based matchmaking, and everybody hates the game, and everybody goes back to the game you were playing previously. Or we go back to the campaign we're playing zombies. The game had zombies. I don't know how long I'm going to talk about multiplayer in this honest review, but holy crap, I don't know how long I can talk about multiplayer, because if you ever play Call of Duty, basically the multiplayer is your typical FPS shooters with a respawn. And the Cold War multiplayer wasn't bad. Actually, it was bad because I despise it. If you're a Call of Duty fanboy and you want to think about playing Cold War or buying it, I wouldn't buy it for multiplayer. If you're buying it for the campaign, go ahead. Party games like Infected wasn't really that too bad, but party games was pretty fun with your friends. But if you're like a solo player, it gets really boring. It's really competitive when you have no one to play with. Party games can be really where the solo players go because you have nothing else to do in the game. Like the map Miami with the neon lights inside of the buildings, the detailed water on the streets and seeing the reflections in the water, seeing the beautiful horizon from a distance. Or you want to play on a desert map? We got you covered. Maybe some classic maps like Nuketown, the classic Black Ops 2 map, Raid, or Classic Express from Black Ops 2. Or you can get that badass inspection for your weapon to show off to your friends. Or you can go for the epic assassination to show all your friends. Or social media, even standoff for Black Ops 2. Or you're not a run and gun guy, or you just want to use a melee weapon and just slash enemies. We got you covered. Or you could be Daryl from The Walking Dead and use an epic crossbow and one-shot enemies. And one of my also favorite weapons is a nail gun. Yes, a nail gun. You also want to get that badass care package or watch it fall from the sky and retrieve it, and it's a UAV. You can also explore a mall with neon lights and beautiful colors. When this game first came out in 2020, I wouldn't recommend this game at all because that's how bad this game was at launch. A Call of Duty feels more complete after the game's been out for a couple years because that's when they released all the free content and everything is out with the game. You know, multiplayer, ton of maps, zombies, ton of maps, and plus Outbreak and whatever third game mode that comes out. Every year, I get more excited for every Call of Duty title, even though it's a disappointment when the game comes out. Every content creator or streamer gets invited to these special packages that Call of Duty sends out to reveal the next Call of Duty or give hints on what the next Call of Duty can be and give little hints for like what is coming to the game, and that really hypes up with the game. And it works because we get excited every game, and then when a game comes out, we all are disappointed and bummed at how bad the game turns out. But over the years, the game turns out okay, and it feels like a complete game. As the years go on, as Call of Duty's come out in trailers and releases and teases and betas and alphas, there's more I less care about because there's so much stuff that ruins the game and just Call of Duty does nothing to it. If we get one thing back, another thing's going to be bad, and then we get more things back that we need back, but they become bad. But enough joking around. This game is a solid game after the years that's been coming out. The campaign is solid. The multiplayer is for me. Then zombies is, it's a really 50-50 between the community and the fans and the haters that like just love the hardcore zombies. And what makes Call of Duty have that interesting feel is when you go on that kill streak and you drop a little thing called a thing that goes boom. So one of my favorite maps in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer is Deprogram because this relates to the storyline with the Mason and the numbers and other, and there's a lot of Easter eggs involved in this map and the visual quality and the atmosphere and how the map looks visually and the quality and the textures. It looks phenomenal, and just the numbers around it. Then you can see Stitch in the background, what makes it even cooler. And it feels like you're in a virtual world. You're in like reality, or it makes you feel like you're hallucinating. So let's talk zombies. The community is really divided here. You got people that want classic zombies back, or Cold War Zombies is fun. Like Black Ops 4 released with 3 to 4 zombie maps at launch. Cold War Zombies released with one map, which is D Machine. Ever since Treyarch ended the storyline for zombies back in Black Ops 4, Cold War Zombies was set to be a reboot, as we see Maxus in the story intro cutscene, and Rick Toppin makes an appearance in Forsaken. Black Ops Cold War Zombies was actually most hated because how easy it was in the franchise. People were so used to these classic zombie maps and getting those perks and surviving the longest. Cold War Zombies just made it easier. Honestly, some people think it's a step back, but I think it's a step forward because there is so much creativity in Cold War Zombies Zombies that you can do. Instead of starting off with a pistol, you actually can pick your weapon in Cold War Zombies and customize. It really changes how you play and make the dark matter grind even more easier. You can start with the weapon you want to start with. But that's why people hated on this Cold War Zombies, because that wasn't classic Zombies. Classic Zombies was starting with a pistol, fighting a weapon, hitting the mystery box, buying guns off of walls, turning on the power, and survive as long as possible. Basically, Die Maschine was part of Nachrichten Toten off of World at War, and they pretty much remade it. There was also camping strategies to make the camo grind easier and go for high rounds. And yes, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies had the mystery box. My favorite part about Die Maschine is going into the dark ether, exploring the jellyfish looking creatures in this map, and the wonderful colorful and creativity for this map has to offer, and going for that pack-a-punch part to get pack-a-punch. And yes, this game has up to 3 upgrades to your weapon. Want to make your gun stronger other than pack-a-punch? Go to the pack-a-punch, and there's extra aim mods you can put on your weapon to make your weapon even stronger. And what's a zombies map without a badass wonder weapon? The wonder weapon on Die Maschine was probably one of the funnest wonder weapons to use at launch, because this thing was a total monster. You can kill multiple zombies with it, and you can also suck zombies into it, aka the vacuum cleaner. It's really good with Ring of Fire. Killing bosses with it, it's very overpowered. And if you find a camping strategy, you can get to high rounds, 100 plus, and it's really fun and easy to play with your friends and gain a lot of levels in XP and have a great time while playing solo or with your friends. You can also use it to pick up Easter egg parts. Die Maschine might be one of my favorite maps to play. It has so much replayability, and you can just go for high rounds. And if you go to a certain round and you completed a camo, or you just want to get off and you just want to quit the game, you can wait for the next exfil and exfil with a helicopter. And beware, there'll be a lot of zombies heading into that location, so you need to clear out before you can go into the helicopter and exfil, and you can earn extra rewards. Even after completing your next game and you earn crystals, and you can use those to upgrade your weapon classes, even field upgrades that double your damage. And it goes all the way up to tier 5. There's even upgrades to perk like Juggernog. And you can also upgrade ammo mods. So, Frost Blast creates a Frigid blast of wind that deals frost damage and slows enemies caught inside of it. Slowed enemies take additional damage. So, Frost Blast creates a Frigid blast of wind that deals frost damage and slows enemies caught inside of it. Slowed enemies take additional damage. Energy Mine. Create a mine of pure energy that detonates a proximity of enemies, dealing explosive damage. Ether Shroud. Phase into the dark ether for 5 seconds, becoming hidden from enemy detection. Ether Shroud is also good for survivability. Healing Aura summons beams of energy down on yourself and allies to instantly heal to full health. So this one is very good to stay alive and give yourself and allies more health to stay alive. Ring of Fire creates a ring of ethereal fire that boosts damage for you and allies. Normal enemies who enter gain burning effect that deals fire damage, lasts 15 seconds. Frenzy Guard force all enemies in the area to target you for 10 seconds. Armor takes all damage during this time. Toxic Growth. Summon a deadly growth of thorns in front of you. Enemies moving through it are slowed by 50% and take toxic damage. Tesla Storm. For 10 seconds, lightning connects to other players, stunning and damaging normal enemies. This one is my least favorite because it's not really helpful in high rounds and it doesn't do enough damage. And also, once you go into the Dark Aether in Die Maschine, you can actually farm these crystals that can give you extra points, weapons, and if you get lucky, a wonder weapon. The Napalm Burst weapon mod. Bullet deals fire damage. Each bullet has a chance to ignite enemies. Dead Wire. Bullets deal electric damage. Each bullet has a chance to stun enemies. Cryo Freeze. Bullets deal frost damage. Each bullet has a chance to slow enemies. Brain Rot. Bullets deal toxic damage. Each bullet has a chance to turn an enemy to an ally. Shatter Blast. Bullets deal explosive damage. Each bullet has a chance to destroy armor. The Die Maschine Easter egg was pretty basic. You had to upgrade the wonder weapon, which has 4 elemental upgrades. Throughout the Die Maschine Easter egg, you interacted with these anomalies, which reveals the spectral reflection. Then the boss starts talking to himself.
These faces are familiar to me. I knew them once.
Basically, the final boss was the Pack-a-Punch area. Then you had to defend him for a certain amount of time, and There's a lot of bosses that come in and a lot of zombies, and you basically just keep defending it. Then the ending is you just escaping it, and you had to traversal around these blue electric balls around the area, and you have to dodge them and go around them as you go to the exfil area. And you exfil, then there's just really no cutscene. It's just the helicopter flying away, and as the place is exploding into pieces. And that's basically the D Machine Easter egg. So the next zombie map is Firebase Z. This map is pretty basic, just like D Machine. It has a regular boss fight and a wonder weapon, but there's a lot of going back and forth talking in this Easter egg, which can be really annoying, and just basic Easter egg steps. And this map is also from the campaign, as we talked about that earlier in this review. So you pretty much go back and forth talking to Captain Rabznov and Dr. Peck. He will give you a key card, which you need to use those to get these certain items from cabinets. After aligning the satellites in Firebase Z, you get a epic cutscene, which is the red lasers connected to each satellite, which is a badass little mini cutscene in the gameplay. So we get another cutscene here where it says Maxis coming out of the dark ether, which this is what the Easter egg was all about, trying to save Maxis and retrieve her back from the dark ether. The cutscene looks really badass, and I'm actually impressed. A lot of people don't like this map or the cutscene or the boss fight, but I really enjoy this map. And look, Maxis meets Maxis. And finally, the boss fight. A lot of people didn't like this boss fight because it was the same boss you could have fought in the bonus rounds in the game. And yeah, you can fight Orda twice in this map, which is really awkward. I didn't mind the Orda boss fight at all. He actually took quite a bit of time to kill for my game. But if you're playing co-op or anything, you can literally kill this guy in seconds or even minutes. And you can use a minigun and spray him down with a ring of fire. And it's ridiculous how fast you can kill him. So Outbreak. Outbreak Zombies brought a new experience to Cold War Zombies. This is probably one of my favorite game modes in Zombies history because you can literally explore the map with different objectives on each map and just complete objectives, get points, get perks, upgrade your weapons, fight bosses. You can pretty much do what you want, and you can play this solo or you can play this co-op. It's a really fun experience, and as we know, Vanguard Zombies tried to copy the same layout, and it didn't go well at all. But as my experience, I loved Cold War Zombies Outbreak because it gave us a different way to play other than just going for high rounds. You can explore the map, go for camos. There is so much variety in Outbreak Zombies, and as a solo player, or you want to play with your friends, you can have a blast while playing this game mode. There's a variety of different bosses and just chest and chalice to upgrade your weapons. There's a lot of secrets, documents, a lot of Easter eggs, side Easter eggs. If you look at the map, each map is different, and it really provides that gameplay. And you can use different vehicles, motorcycles. It's really cool, and you can also use zip lines, which is a cool element to the game. As you complete each objective, after you complete the side objectives, you will have this orb that will pop up in the map where you can go to interact with. And it's going to have all the main things you need, from armor, from perks, to weapon upgrades, pack-a-punch, and etc. Best part of Outbreak is hopping into a vehicle and just riding along in co-op. Really fun. Your buddy doesn't have to be in the car. You can just jump on top of it and you can just ride. It's like the funniest thing they added to Outbreak Zombies. I can't believe it actually works like that. One of my favorite objectives is the Dogs from Dreisendrach, where you can just defend it in this ring of fire circle, stay in it, get kills in it. You feed the dog zombies as it fills up purple inside of it, as you can see, and once it fills up, the circle is going to disappear, then the dog is going to go all the way up, and it's going to give you loot out of the chest, which is one of my favorite objectives in Outbreak. So as you do the Easter egg in Outbreak, you go to this main objective, and it's going to lead you to an elevator, and you go all the way underground where the facility is, where you're going to get a cutscene, and you have to do 3 objectives to get these 3 keys to really start the sequence and go into the boss fight. And this boss fight is something else, man. This Easter egg right here is like the most difficult and annoying one in Outbreak. So the cutscenes in this game are really awkward because your same operators can be talking about that specific person even though you're that operator, and it doesn't really go with the story because it's a little awkward when you have that same exact skin on, especially in this scene when you're Maxis, aka Samantha, and it's gonna play the cutscene and it's really weird. And as in this cutscene right here, Rabinov is gonna take out, beat the hell out of these guys, and he's using them to scan the computer to get the rocket activated so we can get the sequence to get these 3 keys. So the Legion boss fight in Outbreak is probably the most difficult boss fight in the Outbreak zombies, because you have to put a lot of damage in to take this guy down. You have to shoot his middle chest until he goes into this phase where you can shoot one of the 3 orbs, and once you do that, you do damage to him. And you have to do that like 3 or 4 times, and you pretty much beat the boss fight. And you have to do that repeatedly, and it's very annoying. So if I went down in this boss fight, I had no jug or anything, I just had depth perception, and it was a challenge, and thank God I had my friend with me, and I probably wouldn't even completed this in the first place. And the cutscene wasn't very good, but as you go underground and get those 3 keys, that's where the cutscene actually starts. Then you'll get another cutscene at the end where the rocket goes off, and it's a really basic cutscene. As a short description to describe the second Easter egg for Outbreak, it was leading into the next map, which gave us an idea what the next map was going to be. Basically, this is Orta. We've seen it in the objective modes in Outbreak. He's a boss that just walks around the map, and they just copy and pasted the boss fight, so that's really all you need to know. The good old Mauer der Toten. This zombies map is from the campaign, which we previously talked about in this review. And this zombie map, by opening the pack-a-punch, you have to kill these disciples floating in the air, which is really cool. And the colors they add to it above you is really awesome. I like how they did that. So there's also a badass wonder weapon. You can also build Klaus, which is an AI that follows you around and kills zombies. And if he gets enough kills, you can also upgrade him. There's also different upgrades you can get for wonder weapon after getting so many kills and it drops on the floor randomly. We use Klaus to punch the door open, which is going to lead us into the final room of this Mauer der Toten Easter egg. Always make sure you have full armor, so just check on the armor, make sure you have full armor. So it's good to have full armor so you can take more hits. Gonna be honest, once you have the Pack-a-Punch 3 weapon for the one weapon from Mauer der Toten, this boss fight for this map is gonna be like a walk in the park. It's really not that difficult, honestly. It's not. You just have to shoot the bubble until her shield breaks, and you continuously shoot her. She's gonna have a white mechanic, which you can see pop up on your screen, which is gonna feel like you're going into the dark ether, and it pops up blue on your screen, but you're not going into the dark ether. It's just a screen effect that to tell you that she's going into that white mechanic, and basically it just pretty much when it happens when you see it, and basically you just shoot the bubble, do damage, and you just repeat the process, and you go into different spots of the map and you do the same thing until you kill her. So once we beat Mauer der Toten and we get the end credit scene, we have a little surprise in the cutscene because we get the director here, and if you know what that back of his head looks like, you know who this is. Leading on to the final map, Forsaken. Forsaken is the final map of Cold War Zombies. This map gives me like Moon vibes because once you're in the beginning of this map, once you start out, as you kill zombies, the rounds progressively go higher. So it gives me Moon vibes. Before getting to the Pack-a-Punch area where it gets all staticky, you will run into this 3-headed freak that looks like a Magua from Black Ops 3 Zombies. After you press the 2 buttons in the main Pack-a-Punch area, it's going to roll out a cutscene. Maxis is going to prepare to the ultimate Forsaken boss fight, which this Easter egg is the quickest Easter egg to do in this game, which is crazy. So the wonder weapon for Forsaken is an absolute monster. Almost got to run 100 with this gun because it's so crazy. It's basically a gun that turns into an axe, and it's basically unlimited ammo. As you get kills with it, it drops ammo, and you can interact with your D-pad to open up the axe and just swing it. And it does so much damage. It kills so many zombies at once. It just probably one of the best wonder weapons inside of Black Ops Cold War Zombies. So once we do a few steps in the Easter egg, we'll end up at the fuel processing part, which is we have to defend this area for a certain amount of time and kill as much zombies. This is why I got the wonder weapon before this part, because it makes it so much easier. And after we're done, we will receive this part, which is the fuel part, which we need for the final boss, so it can escort us to the final boss location. Basically, our next step is we need to go to 3 different crystals around the map and kill the flying orbs around it until they're all dead. Then we have to knife the crystal, then we take the shard and we throw it at the Abomination, and we kill the Abomination, and it will give us the final part we need. Now it's time to craft our fuel tank, which I like to call it that. This is a moving object where we have to stay in the bubble or we will take damage, and we have to go to these crystals, pick up the crystals, and insert them into the gas tank so we can keep this thing moving, so we can keep moving with it so we don't take damage. And once we're done with that part, at the end here, we can pretty much buy everything we want, like a minigun or death machine or perks, whatever you like to buy if you have the points for it. Basically, how this boss fight goes. We need to shoot off the Forsaken's armor first. We need to feed Maxis kills so she could turn on the laser cannons. We use the laser cannons to take damage off the Forsaken, and we just keep repeating that part until we kill the boss. Maxis once again sacrificed herself into the Dark Aether to kill off the Forsaken. Is this Sophia 2.0 from Girl Kroby? What? Maxis went into the Forsaken to kill it off, and all outbreak zones are collapsing because of that. And she saved humanity. For that being the last map for Cold War Zombies Forsaken, that is a pretty big map to do with, especially with the wonder weapon. It's actually pretty good. The Easter egg was pretty short, but the storyline was pretty awesome. And at the end, everyone got arrested, including myself. That was a pretty interesting ending, and apparently this story was supposed to continue in Vanguard Zombies, which I didn't know Vanguard Zombies even had a story. You guys can comment below your favorite Easter egg or your favorite Zombies map in the comments below if you guys made it this far watching the video. And also want to talk about one more mode that has not been really talked about in Cold War Zombies, which is Onslaught. Onslaught is probably the funnest game to play with your friends because there's just so many zombies and there's an orb. You can really pick what map you want to play. You just go to private match and go to Onslaught. There's really map options there, and you can pretty much play any map. And basically the orb does not move on Onslaught Containment. Basically Onslaught Containment and regular Onslaught are just one moves and one doesn't, which is really fun to do when you're going for weapon camos because you level up really fast. You can even play Dead Ops Arcade 3. You can play it first person or fourth person, which is like the top camera, and it's really fun. Different levels. It takes like 3 hours to beat, and there's like over like 60 to 70 levels in the game. It is absolutely crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video of Black Ops Cold War honest review. And wow, this was probably the longest video I ever edited on my YouTube channel since 2015. I never took this long to edit a video, which is crazy. So if you guys really enjoyed this, you guys made it this far into the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification to never miss a video, and please subscribe to the channel. This took almost a week to edit, which is so much footage, so much editing, and so much time consuming. Hope you guys really enjoy this, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.
On my clock, in this cock mask on my face, hesitate to give me some, I'ma catch a murder case. On my clock, in this cock mask on my face, hesitate to give me some, I'ma catch a murder case.